Season 20 has been announced as the next season of classic Doctor Who to join the collection Blu-ray range, in a move that will frankly come as a surprise to pretty much no one. Obviously, every season of classic Doctor Who is going to join the range at some point or other, but Season 20 has been one that's been rumoured and speculated about and talked about for what feels like years and years now. I mean, I think originally there were plans to maybe do it as one of the sets during 2020 or sometime during the lockdown period, and then all of that kind of went to pot because of the lockdown restrictions. They couldn't go out and do the special feature, which we'll get onto, which was filmed in Amsterdam, the site of Arc of Infinity, the opening story of season 20. I believe as well Mark Strickson, who of course played Turlough in this season, lives abroad. I want to say Australia or somewhere, I'm not entirely sure, but he definitely lives abroad these days, and I don't think he was able to get over to the UK or wherever, or to Amsterdam or whatever to film his parts of the special features as well. So yeah, basically, in one way or another, I believe season 20 was meant to come out quite a bit earlier, but there were certain obstacles that got in the way, certain things that have basically just made it impossible to get it out any sooner. But now it's here, and it's coinciding very nicely in very timely fashion with the 60th anniversary year of Doctor Who. Of course, this was Doctor Who's 20th anniversary season, and the 20th anniversary special, The Five Doctors, came after it in the following November, and that is also being included on this box set as part of this run of episodes. So the press release says that this set is the most jam-packed release yet, with hours and hours of new and exclusive material across 9 discs, so quite a big box set as far as these box sets go. Celebrating the 20th anniversary of the programme, these stories feature the return of old friends, enemies, and even past Doctors. Over 7 exciting stories, the Fifth Doctor, Nyssa, Tegan, and Turlough face off against the Black Guardian, Omega, the Mara, the Master, Cybermen, and the Time Lords themselves. We do of course have some beautiful new artwork for the box set, courtesy as ever of Lee Binding, a fantastic Doctor Who artist who's done all these sets so far. So we have the cover art obviously with Peter Davison there. Blue and pink seem to be the kind of primary colours used for this box set in terms of the lighting and stuff. Lovely shots of Peter Davison there as the Fifth Doctor. What is he holding? I can't quite remember what that is. Someone can let me know in the comments if you like what that is that he's got in his hand there. But below him obviously we do have the usual collection of monsters and adversaries from the season. So here we've got there, we've got Omega, we've got the Master from the King's Demons there, and in his get from that story. We've got Mordrin from Mordrin Undead, the Cyber Leader from the Five Doctors, a Dalek from the Five Doctors as well, and the Mara and one of those monsters or soldiers or whatever it was, I believe from Terminus. The exploded view of the packaging shows the discs and the packaging in all its glory. The 9 discs there, obviously, like I say, fantastic stuff. The booklets with all the Doctor's companions from this season, including Chameleon, bless him, from his little short tenure in Doctor Who. I've got to love Chameleon. And then on the kind of the flaps for the booklet, we can see there some lovely new artwork depicting a scene from the end of The Five Doctors, where the first Doctor is played by Richard Hurndall, as well as John Pertwee and Patrick Troughton as the second and third Doctors, alongside Peter Davison as the Fifth Doctor. In terms of contents, we do of course get all the stories from season 20 plus the 20th anniversary special. So we've got Arc of Infinity, Snake Dance, Mordrin Undead, Terminus, Enlightenment, the King's Demons, and the Five Doctors. And as usual, these have all been upscaled, remastered, whatever, for Blu-rays. They're presented in their best quality yet, essentially. And I've also got a little note in the press release about the Five Doctors having some original film elements used. I'm not entirely sure what those are, whether it's something we already knew about, or whether it's something new that's been found. I mean, again, if you know more about this than I do, let me know in the comments. But yeah, very exciting stuff. And as the press release says, these adventures have never looked or sounded so good on home media. It seems we have more hours of special features than ever before as well, so just to go through the list we've got here. So we have a brand new version of The Five Doctors, the 40th anniversary edition, obviously, with this year being the 40th anniversary of The Five Doctors, which was itself the 20th anniversary story for Doctor Who. So a brand new version of the 90-minute anniversary special with updated special effects, Dolby Atmos and surround sound, plus an exclusive new commentary track with Peter Davison, Janet Fielding and Mark Strickson. So that'll be interesting to see, because there has already been a special edition of the Five Doctors. I believe that came out on the second DVD release for the story, because the original release of the Five Doctors way back in the late 90s or whenever, that was like the first ever Doctor Who DVD ever, and then there was a kind of revised version sort of in the 2000s at some points with kind of golden cover with all the Five Doctors on it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they've altered, updated, changed the story this time around. On top of this, as per usual, we have some updated special effects, this time for two stories, for Snake Dance and Enlightenment. Both stories that, again, actually, I think, come to think of it, have received this treatment before in the past on the DVD releases. You know, obviously they are kind of effects-heavy stories. Snake Dance with the Mara, the snake, the infamous snake from that story, and Enlightenment with the model ships that were used for that story as well. Obviously quite iconic imagery. So I think they have already been updated in the past, possibly with like CGI elements. Again, it'll be interesting to see how they tackle it this time around. We have 7 new instalments of the Gogglebox style series Behind the Sofa, this time with Pete Davidson, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Sarah Sutton, Janet Fielding, Mark Strickson, Katie Manning and Sophie Aldred. We have the exclusive trailer for this box set, which I'll get onto in just a moment. A new In Conversation chat from Matthew Sweet, this time with Janet Fielding and Sarah Sutton, both at the same time, it would seem. The much anticipated documentary, which sees the TARDIS crew, from this season return to the locations in Amsterdam that they filmed in for Arc of Infinity. As I talked about earlier, it's called Let's Go Dutch, and it sounds and looks very interesting based on what we've seen in the trailer. And then in addition to that, we seem to have another sort of European-themed documentary called Look Who's Driving, which is billed as a hilarious European road trip featuring Pete Davidson, Janet Fielding and Sarah Sutton. A bit of a sort of curveball left of field one here, When Janet Met Martin, which sees Janet Fielding reunite with Martin Clunes, who obviously made his Doctor Who debut like 40 years ago in Snake Dance as a character so very different to the characters we know him for today, like Doc Martin and stuff. I think it was one of his first acting roles ever, so that'll be quite interesting to see, what he does remember from that role, from that job like 40 years ago. A new making-of documentary for The King's Demons, which once again stars the main cast and sees them return to the castle location used for that story. A making-of featurette for the Season 20 trailer itself, for the box set, which, I don't think we've had before on these box sets, so that'll be quite interesting, to see how they made the trailer, which, as I say, I'll talk about in just a moment. Then various convention footage, studio footage, location, film rushes, more convention footage. A rare US documentary entitled Once Upon a Time Lord, some new surround sound mixers, and then the usual, HD photo galleries, archive treats, info texts, and PDF archive. And then last but not least, we do of course have the trailer for this box set. So every time we get a new box set, we get one of these lovely little trailers written by Pete McTighe, who wrote Praxius and Kablam on screen. This time it of course features Tegan, who was in season 20, Janet Fielding back reprising the role a few months after Power of the Doctor obviously, so it's quite nice to have that bit of continuity there. I don't want to really spoil the trailer too much. I'd rather you go and watch it for yourselves and see what it's all about. But let's just say, it involves Janet Fielding as Tegan, and we kind of follow her as she kind of gets a mysterious text message and goes to kind of rendezvous with someone at a circus, a fairground location. And what ensues is, a rather interesting little exciting storyline, little adventure for her, which may or may not feature the return of an old enemy somewhere in there along the line. So lots and lots of exciting stuff here. As ever with these box sets, they're always a labour of love from the people that make them and put them together. I believe it has been one of the kind of longer gaps between box sets. I mean, notwithstanding the stuff like in lockdown where everything just came to a pause anyway. I think it's been like 5 months or whatever since they announced season 9, the previous box sets in the range. So there has been a kind of a lot of anticipation for this one as well, because of the fact it's season 20 and we've known for a while that, like I say, they were planning to do it earlier than they actually have done. So it has been a long time coming. There's been a lot of anticipation, a lot of people wanting the news of this to come out, and finally we've got it, and it sounds like a fantastic box set, as per usual. Lots of lovely stuff on here. The most jam-packed box set yet, it would seem, if the press release is anything to go by, and it would certainly appear that way from all the footage in the trailer and from the extensive list of special features here. So fantastic. What could be more perfect? Season 20 being released in the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. It could not be more perfect if you tried. What are your thoughts on this season of Doctor Who, just generally, and also this box set and what we know about it so far? What are your thoughts on the cover art, the special features, the trailer, all that lovely stuff? Be sure to let me know down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new for more stuff like this in the future. But otherwise, until the next one, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.